Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second semi-final here at the 19.com Northern Ireland Open in the Waterfront Hall, Belfast. Please welcome a member of the top 16 once again, who's shown his experience yesterday, winning 4 frames in a row to be here. He's the gentleman. It's Joe Perry! And his opponent, a 5-time champion of the world, who never ceases to entertain. It's the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan!
Listen to the noise. Belfast is buzzing.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Second instalment on semi-finals day. Joe Perry
to break.
To get us underway. He's clearly the underdog. He's
Settle
the first
down,
to admit
thank you.
that. But as O'Sullivan said ahead of this match, he has the utmost respect for the danger that his opponent carries this evening. The elephant in the room for Perry is the head-to-head, which is not pretty for him. One significant win at the UK Championship over a decade ago. But another 20,000 ranking points banked already. Perry back in the top 16. So the pressure is off.
Just looking at Ronnie has left a plant actually here straight away, which he wouldn't have known about. The 2 reds at the bottom of the pack might be lined up. Well, they are, although if the cue ball was above rather than below the 2 reds, I think it would be better. He's got to cut the first red thin if he plays it. If he doesn't play it, he can't afford to leave it, I don't think. Deciding that he's not going to take that chance. Ronnie's been to look at those 2 reds as well. Well, that was all very strange, wasn't it? Very strange. Because Joe didn't think the plant was there. It looked on, but he couldn't afford to leave it for Ronnie from up there, from that side of the table. It was very gettable. Not sure I understand what Joe's thought process. We saw the plant and it seemed to be available.
Four.
There may have been a sense from O'Sullivan himself this week that he was rather going through the motions in the early rounds. That changed last night. He would have been well aware of the need to raise his game against the informed Sean Murphy. He certainly did that. Wonderful shot making on his way to a resounding 5-1 win. I'm sure he'll be in a similar mindset against Perry. He knows he needs to play well. Can't take liberties. And there's the small matter of trying to book his place in his 75th ranking semi-final. That's what he's achieved already. He wants to make his 52nd final.
10.
He played that well because the cue ball just, well, it just plowed through the bunch. It's the way the cue ball just continues to go through the reds. And even though he's got to use something like the rest or the spider, it's an easy enough shot, and he's holding the rest in mid-air.
Thank you. 18.
Only use a spider on that shot, I suppose. Anyway. Yeah, Judd Trump said that it took him a while to get used to the conditions. The table would be covered overnight. So it played a lot different to
26.
first 5 days, but Ronnie seems immediately to be acclimatised to the conditions. Oh, that's all right.
33. $34. There you go. 41. 42. 49. 50.
Well, he's a bit straight on this black to do any damage to the bunch. Hang on the loose one.
57.
Yeah, we need one of the 5 reds, 6 reds in the middle of the table, I should say.
58.
With the colour. Perfect to get into them here. Little nudge. Oh, he's got the red in. Now that is
Ronnie
significant.
O'Sullivan, 58. Joe Perry, 5.
I thought he split them quite beautifully. Was there really ever a plant there? No, you couldn't have known that red was going to go in. It went off another red halfway along. So it was... He's done nothing wrong, O'Sullivan, but Joe Perry's got an opportunity here to fight straight back.
Thank you.
Well, Perry's still cold. He's only played a couple of shots, but that was a chance to potentially punish O'Sullivan's rank bad luck just now. It's not going to matter anymore. Or at least it's unlikely to.
Well, basically, just to land on any colour with 2 reds over the hole.
1.
It's okay. Well, a little bit more on it would have been better. Just a bit of pressure on this shot. Well, it's been a good frame, and it's only the unlucky knocking of the red in when he played a good shot to split them that gave any hope to Joe Perry. Otherwise, O'Sullivan looks sharp to me.
9. $16. 17. 22. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 22. And
An ominously good start from Ronnie O'Sullivan. If you're a fan of Joe Perry, who left the plant at the start of the frame. O'Sullivan made 58, was very unlucky to knock in a red with the blue. It didn't matter. He leads 1-0.
Okay, Ronnie. Thank you. The second frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
The Waterfront Hall here in Belfast has really come into its own now. We're down to the one match table, the crowd surrounding the players. That's how they like it on big occasions such as these. And you're looking at the ultimate big occasion player in Ronnie O'Sullivan. Break of 58, sharp as attack in the opening frame. Might well have been a century had he not been unlucky enough to knock in a red with the blue. And that just gave Joe Perry half a chance for a counter-attack, but he missed the red. And so 1-0 O'Sullivan. 6 the target. Judd Trump, the defending champion, awaits the winner for the title.
Well, it's a horrible misjudgment. He's not salvaged very well tonight.
One.
O'Sullivan, on the other hand, looks as though he's been playing on
6.
this new cloth all day. Tight rein on that cue ball already. You heard the respect that he holds for Joe Perry in his interview with Rachel ahead of this match. Determined to make a statement early on, get in front and boss proceedings from there, which is what he's done for most of his career. The ultimate snooker bully. Putt right on cue.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 7.
A very surprising mistake.
Yeah, he was. He had an angle on it. I thought he would go into the top of the bunch, hit the pink foot on, and out of his way to play a different shot. but completely misjudged that one.
It was a really good comeback from Perry last night against Alex Ursenbacher, who of course had knocked out the home favourite Mark Allen. He was playing some great stuff. Perry was 3-1 down, but he finished that match with a couple of 70 breaks and a 90. Ursenbacher only scored 10 points in the last 3 frames. So he's been queuing very well. Is he going to get the opportunities to show that this evening? When he does get them, if he gets them, can he really do some damage? Keep O'Sullivan in his chair. Tall order.
Yes, he hasn't settled at all.
Thank you.
An edgy start from Joe. Sullivan, remember, is only playing his 3rd ranking event of the season. Came into this tournament under some sort of pressure in terms of his 1-year ranking, with a Coral series of events in mind, 2 of which he won last season. He was down at 83 on the 1-year list, but he sorted that out with his run to the semis.
Yeah, the blue is in the way of the natural into the bunch of 1 cushion. I think the red directly below the black will pop. And you'll spread some reds out here in doing so.
10. $11.
Oh, that was clever if he's on the black. Pink to the middle is another option.
$17. $18.
Well, the ball's opened up pretty nicely again.
25. 26. Sorry.
Well, Pink will go in his own spot. It's no help to O'Sullivan.
32.
Break ends there. Strange old shot that was.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 32.
What he played. He had to screw it with right hand check side.
Joe Perry has attempted 2 pots so far, missed them both. O'Sullivan once again a bit unfortunate not to land on a red just now. It's not really the pot you want, is it, when you're trying to get a foothold in a match like this? But he cued it well.
Thank you. 1.
This is precisely the kind of opportunity that you would think Perry has to make hay from. He's to have a chance of an upset victory tonight.
Yes, he wouldn't have played all that often on the match table. There are 2 arenas here at the Waterfront Hall, and obviously we're down in the main arena now, but I think he played some of his matches in the other building.
5.
And even last night his was the one that was on the Eurosport Player, i.e. the second table. So he's not so used to it as O'Sullivan. He's played all his matches on this one.
Okay. $11. Yeah.
One of the less heralded members of the class of '92, Joe Perry. He's had quite a few near misses in his career. 4 times a ranking final runner-up. Came within a couple of frames of making the world final. And of course was runner-up to O'Sullivan in the Masters final. He's a
17.
culture player when he's playing well, and when he's in amongst them, an excellent break builder.
18.
More than 300 career centuries. He's already made 14 this season. He needs that kind of scoring power tonight.
$24. $25.
Well, there's a good chance yellow to green will be the problem.
31.
He might be in front of that point, but he'll still need them.
$32. $37. 38. 44.
Well, that came as a
Joe Perry,
surprise.
44.
They'd taken some good pots up until that moment, just queuing, sort of leaning across the table, but I didn't believe he'd miss it all the same.
One.
O'Sullivan still needs the yellow as well as Perry. He's got an absolute cast iron snooker to put Joe Perry in trouble here if he wants to. Cue down over the black spot somewhere. Goodness me, really? Is that the shot?
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
I suppose if it goes in, it is, but get him into a lot of trouble there. An amazing thing to go for. I don't believe that anyone else on the tour would have gone for that when it was such an obvious safety shot and a snooker on.
And as a result of that extravagant shot choice, it's O'Sullivan now snookered. Oh, you're kidding. You are kidding me. Wow-wee. What a fluke that is. That might be fluke of the season. Might be fluke of the decade.
John Perry, all the blood drained out of his face when he saw that one. He sunk low into his chair. He was sitting on the edge of his seat thinking he's got a chance, and he just slumped back in it. That is a horrible fluke to be on the wrong end of. And you're right, it's the fluke of the season.
9.
Goodness me.
That was a 1,000,000-to-1 shot, wasn't it? Not just cutting in the yellow, but landing perfectly on the green as well. Extraordinary.
It was a monster
14.
fluke. There's no doubt about that. And that wasn't the busiest end of a match, but really, I don't even know if he deserved it for the shot he played.
And the pink was frame ball. What an extraordinary end to the second frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan with an enormous fluke, the likes of which you may not see again. And it's one in the second frame, despite a questionable attempt at potting the green. Here it is again. I mean, you could try this for the rest of your life and not achieve it. And look at position on the green as well. Extraordinary stuff. Joe Perry fuming. He trails 2-0.
change. Yeah, look. I'm going to go wide anyway, but look.
We might have seen the best shot of all time earlier on today from Judd
Thank
Trump.
you. The third frame.
Have we just seen the biggest fluke of all time? Quite extraordinary stuff at the back end of frame 2. Ronnie O'Sullivan cutting in the yellow, playing out of a snooker and getting position on the green. We're going to have another look at that. I think you're going to be seeing this bit of footage quite a lot for the remainder of this season and beyond. Here it is again. I mean, seriously. That is lottery odds. And perfectly on the green to get position on the brown. O'Sullivan cleared up 2-0. That's tough on Joe Perry. And just before that, O'Sullivan had taken on an extremely optimistic green to get on the yellow, which he missed, and that resulted in the snooker. Joe Perry could not possibly predicted what would happen next. Unless we forget, 12 months ago, of course, Ronnie O'Sullivan beat Mark Selby on the final black in the last 4. Fluking match ball from memory out of a snooker. So the luck of the Irish for Ronnie at this venue. Well, that's a really good shot from Joe Perry, who's entitled to feel somewhat discombobulated after what just happened. So that's a really good way to start frame 3.
Yes, Gibble stopped short of the bulk line, which means he has a shot here on the yellow or green to get down the table. Down towards the reds.
Four. Five. Ten. Eleven.
As long as you've got some sort of an angle here, it would help. Yep. Not happening for him at the moment.
Joe Perry, 11.
Missing a lot of important balls. I was never going to drop in that bottom jaw like that.
One. Seven. Eight.
Now here's a tough one. 1 or 2 missed along the cushion.
15.
Notice Judd missed something along here this afternoon.
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
What if
50.
the table suspicion it's just playing a little tighter since recovered? Thought it was quite easy earlier in the week. It was redone overnight. I'll be honest, that was probably never quite there anyway. 1 or 2 have hit the angle and stayed out.
Yes, normally a new cloth would result in slightly more receptive pockets. Certainly both players this afternoon initially struggled to get to grips with the table, Higgins and Trump. Trump finished very strongly. That's another very good pot from Joe Perry, who is trying to erase the memory of what happened at the back end of frame 2.
Six. Joe Perry, 6.
But he's having a bit of a horror show so far this evening, Joe. He's missing way too many balls. He's been on the wrong end of foul bit of luck as well.
1.
And that is not a winning combination against Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Yeah, nothing unlucky about that last shot, though. That was just a poor one. He knows it. He was annoyed with himself. He knew he had to make a good start in this match. He's fully aware that with O'Sullivan, he's a tremendous front runner. You know, he can just ride rough shot over you when you're behind and just put the match over very quickly.
9.
Okay, depending on where the pink
15.
spots, does the red now go into the middle of the top one? Another red will go into that pocket anyway.
$60. $21. $22. $28. $29.
Joe Perry looking pretty fed up in his chair. No wonder he's not played anywhere near as well so far this evening as he's done to get this far.
36. $37.
But that could be the Ronnie O'Sullivan effect. We know that he has that intimidating X factor for a lot of the players on tour. Joe has only beaten him twice in 17 attempts, which speaks for itself.
Yes, and he has had opportunities in first 2 and a bit frames.
43.
Hasn't settled at all.
Frame ball comes
47.
and goes. The tone was rather set, wasn't it, when Perry left the long-range plant for
48.
O'Sullivan right at the start of the match. O'Sullivan duly knocked it in, made 58, went on to win the frame, and since then things have gone from bad to worse for the underdog. O'Sullivan has by and large been very measured, with that
54.
one slight aberration with the very difficult green that he attempted, which could have been expensive,
O'Sullivan,
perhaps should have been in
54.
frame 2, but he won that courtesy of that extraordinary fluke. He's won this one as well with some comfort, and already in barely half an hour on the table, Ronnie O'Sullivan has moved halfway to a place in the final. He leads 3-0.
Thank you. Frame 4.
A calamitous evening
Ronnie
thus far for
O'Sullivan to
Joe
break.
Perry, a combination of too many missed balls and a big slice of luck for Ronnie O'Sullivan, who by and large has looked very sharp, very determined to make his second consecutive final here in Belfast. 3-0 up already. 3 more to book his place in the final against Judd Trump. Shake of the head from O'Sullivan as he returns to his chair, not thrilled with the break-off, which has arguably been the shot that's caused him most angst in recent seasons.
Well, if it was a mistake, it's given him, in a roundabout way, a chance. Because Joe is not really knocking anything in of any importance.
Isn't that typical when you're struggling? You miss a red and it lands right over the hole on the opposite side of the table.
Yes, but he is struggling, Philip, isn't he? I mean, I know not so much this shot, it's not easy, but he's missed some easy ones already tonight. This match is already seemingly slipping away from him a little bit. Well, that'll help.
Ronnie
I'll be
O'Sullivan
angry
1.
that he missed that one.
Yeah, Sullivan knows if he wins this frame, the job's almost done. Equally, if Perry can find a way to take it, he'll feel a bit better going into the mid-session interval with the chance of playing much better in the second half of the match. So this is a very important visit for Perry. His pot success is currently at 78%, nowhere near good enough.
1.
Sullivan has missed 1 or 2 more recently, so his has come down, but he's 3-0 up. That's all that matters.
That one struggled in as well. It's an important little point, passage of play here. Joe Perry has to make something of this chance.
9. $16. 17. 24.
I've screwed out a little bit low on the next red. Doesn't want to lose the cue into the bulk area. Oh, he's overcut it. Dear.
Joe Perry 24.
Just a lot of pots into the bottom 2 pockets, especially that right corner. Not sure what that was, a big banging noise. Just the point where Ronnie was about to draw the cue back to play the shot.
One.
Oh, a reprieve for Joe Perry. Same applies. He has to now convert this into winning a frame.
Six.
Doesn't appear to be any good as he's on one. Top one, does it go? Maybe it does. That's not a full pocket, I don't think. Got to be careful here. Goes into what would be the thick part of the pocket. I think he'll hit the other red. I'm okay.
7.
No lack of support for Joe Perry. This Big Belfast crowd want to see a real tussle this evening. Terrific venue.
14.
This tournament is building up to a fabulous climax. Judd Trump already safely in the final, courtesy of his hard-fought win over
15.
John Higgins earlier.
$22. 23.
Well, I nudge it into the reds, but I don't think with a lot of pace. Just to bring something out. That'll do him. Not quite how he meant it, but it'll do.
30. $31.
Still 75 on, so he's going to need a couple more reds.
Well, he really wanted that cue ball to stop a bit sharpish
45.
there. If it had been a bit further up the table, there was a red clearly available to the right corner. There you see it, in the middle of that bunch.
Joe Perry, 35.
Worrying point in the match for Joe because he hasn't won the frame here, as you can see. 75 on, 58 behind O'Sullivan, but worse than that, the balls are in pretty orthodox positions.
Shake of the head from O'Sullivan, who overcooked the safety by quite a way. So another chance for Perry to get his first frame of the evening. And he hasn't been able to take it, and he's pushed one out.
It's all a bit
Thank
snatchy,
you.
I thought that. This didn't really finish his backswing, and he was through the shot a little too quickly. All the things that happen when you're anxious.
Well, if O'Sullivan
One.
mops up here, that really would be the last straw for Joe Perry. He's had a evening to forget thus far.
Yeah, well, he looks a little bit dismayed. He's on the black all right, but I think he's not sure what happens when the black respots. That's a very clever shot. He's moved the red away. A lot more in that shot than meets the eye.
8.
He wanted that red away from the black spot.
9.
Again, the lot's going to depend on
16.
the bottom red. Some shot left-handed, isn't it? To really dig into the cue ball and swing it across the table like that. Well, he thought he'd take the moment while he had the chance. Sometimes players would leave this till
24.
last. He sees no reason to do that.
Didn't touch the sides, and that might just be the frame-winning shot.
32.
It's out of his hands now.
It's not as if O'Sullivan has swamped him. He's had chances in, I think, almost every frame. Even in the first frame, he had an opportunity. Since then, he had quite a few. And it's looking
39.
slightly ominous. O'Sullivan's still going to take these. But as you can see, everything is there. It's a question of his concentration staying intact.
45. $47. 50.
Penny for that man's thoughts. Everything that could have gone wrong this evening has done. He's not played anywhere near his best, which he said himself he would have to do to have any chance tonight. He's been on the wrong end of one of the all-time great flukes, which cost him frame 2.
59.
But Ronnie O'Sullivan, once again, looking exceptionally good. And he does his damage exceptionally quickly. This match is barely 43 minutes old. Is it already over as a contest? It might well be, because Ronnie O'Sullivan has whitewashed Joe Perry in that mini session. And he's just 2 frames away from returning to the final here at the Northern Ireland Open. Joe Perry has the proverbial mountain to climb. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4-0 to the good.
I mean, no, yeah, I don't know. The time. For all of it. Wait there. I might just roll a little and just get some side issues. Really in the apartment sounds foolish to just leave the apartment. Yep.
I don't know, but yeah, I don't mind that.
Football being on.
Let's go down to somewhere. Hot light is beautiful. What I like to do if I'm not sure. That's why I say thank you. Even if I'm not so and I know it's pretty. We out to feel watching the ghosts and cold. Oh, I know it's pretty. But too hard to go. Yeah, I know it ain't pretty, but too hard to go. I hope someday sit down together and laugh with each other about these lazy days. All our troubles we lay to rest, and we wish we could come back to these days. We
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome back your referee, Leo Scullion, and your players, Joe Perry and Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Joe Perry has a nigh on impossible task, you would think, from here. 4-0 down to the greatest front runner the game has ever seen.
Joe Perry
in
to
a race to 6. And it's been a night to forget for Perry. He's played well below par. He's seen his opponent have a big slice of luck to win a frame that he might have lost. But the bottom line is Perry has just not potted enough balls. He's not taken advantage of the chances he's had, and he's had a few. And Ronnie O'Sullivan, by and large, has been very solid once again. And the break he made just before the interval felt like the nail in the coffin. Not another fluke, not this time. 72, and Neil, you pointed out that very clever shot to release the black spot. He's got a quicksilver snooker brain, hasn't he, O'Sullivan, as much as anything else that he brings to the game. This is the fluke again. Yeah, the fluke is outrageous, but it's probably the only thing like that in the match. I know he's just fluked a snooker there, but this is not a big deal, this one. That really was a huge fluke, but it shouldn't mask the fact that he's been completely dominant in the 4 frames we've seen. As he has been during the career that these two have had on the table facing one another. Remember, Joe Perry's only beaten O'Sullivan twice. O'Sullivan's won on 15 occasions. Some of those were close, as O'Sullivan mentioned to Rachel ahead of this match, most notably the World Championship meeting when Joe Perry was within a couple of frames of victory. O'Sullivan had to produce some outstanding match play snooker to get over the line, 13-11. That was 5 years ago now. A very attacking safety shot, opening up all the reds. While he's left Joe something at long range. It's not an easy pot. The safety shot thin off the side of the bunch, or the reds to the left of where the bunch used to be. Is the way he's going to have to play this. That was not a good kiss on the brown. It really is a perfectly set up table for anyone that gets in first. Well, he's not quite right on the blue. Not straight, but as I say, this looks to be a wonderful chance. It's a better shot than it looked, that, wasn't it? Because he was slightly hampered with his cueing by the brown. Rattled it in nonetheless. Just a question of getting on the black. Yeah, and obviously from here you can't get on the black to the left corner.
Seven.
Feel he's one positional shot away from being a real good chance.
Yeah. Oops.
Nearly some damage done there. by Leo Scullion, but he dodged a bullet. No wonder O'Sullivan's smiling. The evening could scarcely have gone better so far.
Thank you. Thank you.
Didn't want those lovely reds to be disturbed, did he, Neil?
Now, had a little joke with the referee. He must be in a good mood. He doesn't often do that.
$16. $17.
Well, he's just striving to get this set of balls perfectly laid on.
$24. $25.
At last. It's too early to say the frame is over, but it might be, and it's turning into a rout, this match. It's been incredibly one-sided for a semi-final.
33.
Joe Perry, lest we forget, has beaten Judd Trump this season out at the China Championship.
40.
And he's not been seriously threatened this week, aside from his quarter-final against Ersenbacher when he
41.
trailed 3-1 and finished the match very strongly, but of course tonight was always going to be a seismic step up. But that's gone slightly awry for O'Sullivan. Recovery pot required. No problem.
Well, he hit that very well. Really good. As you say, he had to recover the situation. Didn't seem like he could get into much trouble where the balls were placed, but he did.
44.
Again. That's a great shot. That is a great shot.
51. 52.
He really is devastating, O'Sullivan, when he starts to get on a roll, get ahead.
$59. 60.
Starting to look like a bit of a knockabout for
67.
Ronnie, just a practice session this. Playing as if there's no pressure on him, let's face it, there's not much pressure put on him. But he's always been the same. He senses that an opponent is struggling, he tends to go for it and reels a frame so easily and quickly.
74.
He was expected to be pushed hard by Sean Murphy, who's arguably played the better of the two this season so far. Brushed Murphy aside 5-1. He's playing
81.
a guy who's back in the top 16, Joe Perry, and at the moment it's similarly
82.
lopsided, even more so. Now Perry's primary concern is avoiding the dreaded whitewash.
89.
As O'Sullivan eyes his
90.
third century of the week.
O'Sullivan, 90.
No century, but 90 will do as Ronnie O'Sullivan, inside 52 minutes, moves to within a single frame of a reappearance in the final here at the Northern Ireland Open. He leads Joe Perry 5-0. Ronnie O'Sullivan on the cusp of a whitewash victory over Joe Perry. 5-0 up, courtesy of his best break of the night so far, a run of 90. We've had something of a disturbance while you've been away. One of the members of the crowd getting a little fruity with the security staff. I think there's only one winner there, but the disturbance continues backstage. Ronnie O'Sullivan nipped out to have a look at what the commotion was all about. I guess things are rather less dramatic on the table. It's too one-sided to be described as dramatic. Joe Perry has had a night to forget. He's not produced anything like his A game, which he said ahead of the match he would have to do to have a chance.
He was still there. He could have got back in, but it's okay.
Leo Scullion assuring O'Sullivan
Thank you.
that
Frame 6.
he's safe to continue.
Ronnie
He
O'Sullivan
needs
to
just
break.
one more frame for a place in the final. Incredibly, this match might not have too much further to travel. It's not even an hour old yet. And if O'Sullivan does complete victory, of course, he'll be in the studio with Andy and Jimmy. Get your questions in now. Hashtag Home Nations as usual. O'Sullivan has played very well. There you see he's outscoring Joe Perry 3-1, but it's not as though Perry hasn't had chances, Neil. He's had quite a few, and he'll be very disappointed with his own performance this evening.
Yeah, he has had chances, and they're not coming along quite so often in the last frame or two, but a few moments. The fluke was huge, which won Ronnie O'Sullivan a fairly close second frame. He really should have won the fourth frame. He was in a good position to do so, but O'Sullivan cleared from a long way behind, 58 behind. He always felt he would clear. And then really, in that frame we've just seen, Ronnie got in with a good chance again and just toying with Joe Perry and sort of freewheeling in that 90 break. We didn't really get on everything, despite the reds being well placed, but hard to imagine that there's any way back from a position like this.
Sensational.
It's amazing how he's played himself into form this week, because he didn't look all that confident in his opening match. Oliver Lyons, who he beat, but he was very subdued, O'Sullivan, and gradually he's got better. Might not be on the red that he intended to play on. And that's a
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
shot of a man who's 5-0 up.
One.
Perry playing for pride right now. Realistically, all hopes of victory have gone. Maybe a part of him that would rather not be out there anymore, given what's happened this evening, but he's a pro. He'll keep fighting.
9.
And we'll hope to relocate the form he's shown in getting to the semi-final, which has been very good.
Oh, please.
Leo Scullion needs a bit of time to get pink in the right spot. The usual rules apply in a direct line without touching anything else, but as close
15.
as it can be the neighbouring red in a straight line with its own spot.
16. $23. 24.
Not clean, but it dropped. Not for the first time this evening. It looks as though Joe Perry may be out of luck.
Yeah, I think a bit unlucky there, where the balls ended up. Thought he played into them well enough, but they just didn't really spread. Sums up his evening.
Joe Perry, 31.
Yeah, no other shot.
On, Ronnie! Come on, Ronnie!
Please don't shout out when a player's at the table.
that's the best, I think. We've seen from him there. That's a good shot. Needs to convert very quickly. And he'll feel a lot better if he can get this frame on the board. I know that matches, well, the winning line is a long way off. The frame would make him feel a lot better than seemingly getting whitewashed, which has been on the cards for a while.
His highest break so far, just 44. Early in hours play.
13. Nineteen. Thank you. 20. Here we go. 27. 28.
1 more red.
35.
He needs.
A warm hand for Joe Perry, who appears to have finally stopped the rot. In the process, avoided the ignominy of a 6-0 loss.
38.
Yes, it took him 2 visits. First one after Ronnie played an ambitious double. Broke down. He never got the bunch open, but certainly the ball that got him in this time was good red to the middle pocket.
44.
Plenty resting on that shot had he missed it.
Joe Perry, 44, and the frame.
He'll make do with 44, which matches his best break of the evening, which tells its own story, but at least he has a frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan still needs 1. He leads 5-1.
Okay, Ronnie. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Thank you. Frame 7, Joe Perry to break.
So it's Joe Perry with the honour in frame number 7. Ronnie O'Sullivan and Leo Scullion are in danger of striking up a double act here. It's snooker's answer to Morecambe and Wise.
Well, as I said earlier, he must be in good form because he's having fun with referees. Normally giving him an absolute torrid time out there, isn't he?
Well, he's still got a match to win here, O'Sullivan. He's red-hot favourite, of course, but here's another early chance for Perry. He'll feel better for getting a frame.
Eight. Nine.
Played that well, in and out of the bunch, on that loose red, exactly how he meant it.
17. $24. 25. Joe Perry, 25.
Just when it looks as though Perry was beginning to strike up something of a rhythm, a black or fit spot evades him.
No, very disappointed. It was a question of getting out off that black into an area where reds are available. There was never going to be the problem. It was only the bot.
One. Eight. Nine. $16.
Well, he couldn't have played it much better. He's got a slightly awkward shot there, queuing over the ball. Cue heading up the table. Missed it.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 16.
I think it was a combination of the pot and trying to hold, stop the cue ball going the other side of the bulk line. Might be the reason he missed it on the thick side.
One. Joe Perry, 1.
Very much a tale of his evening, isn't it?
Thank you.
Thought that Perry would make 9 out of 10 ordinarily, but these aren't ordinary circumstances. 5-1 down to O'Sullivan in the big semi-final.
Yeah, I think Ronnie would best serve to put him out of his misery. Don't think he's getting back into this match. It's a question of when. O'Sullivan beats him now, seems to me.
8.
In a long time, as we know, since Joe Perry got a win over Ronnie O'Sullivan over a decade ago.
$16.
Delicate touch required here. Cued it so well. Always the danger of a push shot when object and cue ball are so close together.
$24. $25.
So O'Sullivan, who of course is in pursuit this weekend of a record-breaking 37th ranking title success, closing in on final number 70. Make it 52. 52 ranking finals. Won his first when he was still 17 years of age, beating Stephen Hendry in the UK Championship back in 1993, and he's never looked back.
39.
Yes, he's going to set up quite some final as well, isn't it? When O'Sullivan gets over the line here against Judd Trump. It's the match we've been waiting for, I think, since Trump lifted the world title. He's got a good record as well against O'Sullivan. Maybe roles are reversed.
46.
Be interested how the bookmakers would price that match up. I think Trump is a small favourite there, and that's never happened before.
Well, barring snookers, it's done. Ronnie O'Sullivan in irresistible form once again. Joe Perry had his chances early. He was on the wrong end of a quite unbelievable fluke, which cost him the second frame, but in truth he's been outclassed by the 5 times world champion. Perry hasn't done himself justice this evening. Ronnie O'Sullivan
59.
started this tournament in no more than average sort of form. He's worked his way through the gears.
62.
And he's seen off 2 of the best in the world in Murphy and Perry. The loss of only 2 frames.
66. 71.
And he's done it in 1 hour and 10 minutes. Ronnie O'Sullivan steamrollers Joe Perry by 6 frames to 1, so stand by for a Belfast rematch to savour. It's O'Sullivan against Trump, the Rocket against the Ace. O'Sullivan will be chasing sweet revenge. What a final we have in store here at the Waterfront Hall in Belfast tomorrow. In the meantime, it's O'Sullivan through 6-1.